Support for NPR and the following message come from IXL Learning. IXL Learning uses advanced algorithms to give the right help to each kid no matter the age or personality. Get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when you sign up today at IXL.com/NPR.
Hey, Billy, what can we help you with?
Well, there's been a sort of an ongoing thing between me and my wife now for 29 years, going on almost 30, about how to make the bed. When you have printed sheets, do the printed top sheet, does it go printed side up or printed side down?
Yeah.
Okay, so you and your wife, who's on which side?
She is the one who thinks the printed side of the top sheet should go down on the bed so that you're sleeping between the pretties, as she's always told me.
Between the pretties.
And I'm the one who the printed side should be up on both sheets just because they match that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you said this has been a debate, a crisis in your marriage for 29 years?
Correct.
Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations. 29 years, that's no small thing.
I appreciate that.
Especially with tensions running high as they are. Billy, we're going to do our best to save your marriage and get an answer to this question.
I would be most appreciative.
All right, I think we have the perfect person to decide this for us. I feel like there is an objective right answer here.
Grant, what's the best way to identify you?
A lot of people just say Grant Howard, former butler to King Charles and Queen Camilla, normally.
That is Grant Howard, the former butler to King Charles. And we figure if anybody would know the proper way to make a bed, it is Grant. So Grant, what's the verdict?
So basically, the first thing you would do is the actual first sheet that would go on the bed, and it would all get tucked in, and you do the hospital corners, nice crisp hospital corners. And then what you'd have is the next sheet, and that would be quite, as your listener was it his wife was saying, it'd be the other way round. It would be with the pattern down, and just to be really exact with this, and the pillowcases would always make sure you'd always have the opening towards each other, so they'd all be facing into the bed, and that's how you'd make your perfect bed, technically.
Wow. So I'm just going to say, by royal decree, Billy's wife is correct.
Yeah, she's absolutely right, and he's completely wrong on this one.
Well, I feel like we should just clarify, though, Grant, specifically, King Charles sleeps between the pretties.
I can't confirm or deny that, but if he has had it done the way that I was taught, then he would sleep in between the pretties.
I have to ask, does King Charles sleep in a king-size bed?
His bed's just like I can't really give the details of it, but it's just a normal bed. Wait, if I can say that.
Let me say this, though, Grant, because I may do you one better. It's a normal bed for him. He's a king. Therefore, It's a king-size bed.
That's good. Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Yeah, a king goes in a king-size bed. That'd be the perfect scenario.
Can I ask this question? So when you make your bed, do you, Grant, sleep between the pretties?
Oh, yes. Yeah, 100%.
Thinking about his sleep and that part of his life, does the king have an alarm clock?
I don't know. But on saying that, Queen Elizabeth, and he now has this. So this is pretty cool. What I do know for a fact is that every morning, in the morning, they have a piper playing bagpipes outside the window.
Really?
So that's the alarm clock, basically. So you have a piper outside playing bagpipes in the morning. That's the alarm clock.
Could she snooze? So she had a.
I don't think you could shut out the window and tell the bagpipes to stop. Yeah. I think it would just go on for 5 or 10 minutes.
Wow. What song does the bagpiper play?
I'm actually not. I don't really know. I think it's just a Scottish, probably a lament or something, or a piece of Scottish music.
Let's be honest. They all sound the same, don't they, Grant?
That's what. I'm Scottish, and that's what I was thinking. I wouldn't be able to. I don't really. It all does kind of sound similar when you, especially when you've had a few whiskeys.
Well, Grant, thank you so much for helping Billy.
My pleasure.
Helping save Billy's marriage.
Well, hopefully we've saved his marriage.
This is How to Do Everything. I'm Ian.
And I'm Mike. On today's show, how to remember to change your toothbrush.
Or your toilet brush. Even some things that are not brushes. But first...
Hey, Jack, what can we do for you?
Well, I had this long ago problem that cropped up about how to tell someone that their fly is open. This came up when I was in graduate school. I happened to be in a class that was about medieval theology, and it was taught by a priest. And he came in to lecture one day, and not only was his fly open, but some of the shirt tail was hanging out of it. And I had this visceral recollection of all the students kind of looking at each other and like, what should we do? Should we say something? Or how do we bring this to his attention? And of course, we did nothing. And at the end of the lecture, the priest remarked that he had never had a class that had been so enthralled with the topic of original sin before.
So, Jack, in that class, and I imagine, how long was it? Like hour long?
Yeah.
And was the lecturer, the priest, behind a lectern or just all out in front, no coverage?
I seem to remember that there was a lectern, but he was clearly visible.
Yeah.
Well, so we're going to try and find somebody to help you. In the meantime, I think Mike and I would like to absolve you of your guilt for this.
Thank you.
Telling somebody they have their zipper down, that is bad news. It's embarrassing news. We have just got somebody on the line with a great deal of experience delivering bad news.
Hello.
Hello, Maury?
Yes.
Maury Povich, you've told maybe more people embarrassing news than anybody else in the world. Do you have any advice for Jack, what we should do when we need to tell somebody their zipper's down?
Well, I have an alternative solution. In the most polite way, I would look at the professor and I would just stare slightly below his belt, hoping that he would say, "Is there something wrong?" And I would just point down there, make him look at it, and then he would be on his own. And if that did not work, I would be a little more forceful. I would say, "Sir, can you turn around? I'm going to go over there and just look at me, no one else. And when it comes to your open zipper, Professor, zip it."
Just very direct. Yeah,
that is direct.
Well, as you know, on my show, it's always been when it comes to the case of 6-month-old Samantha, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You are the father or you're not the father.
That's another case where maybe zip it would have been the best advice. Am I right, Maury?
Yeah. Would have told the guy zip it before other things happen.
Are you, in your personal life outside of the show, are you good at being direct with people, telling people things maybe that would be hard to say?
Unfortunately, around most of the people who know me, that's correct. I mean, it's just...
Do you have any moments in your life when you look back, Maury, that are like Jack's, where you were facing a situation and you had one choice, you could do the right thing, and then you're like, I don't think I can do that, and then you've lived to regret it?
I'll give you one example. I used to be a sportscaster, and I used to cover the then Washington Redskins football team. And I was a sportscaster for a long time, and for a while, and about for 10 years. And I went to the coach of the Washington Redskins one time, and it was in the locker room, and there's this bottle of pills. I mean, it could have been salt pills, who knows? And I said, "Coach, what are these pills?" I think that maybe they're uppers or downers or whatever. And the coach looked at me and said, "Maury, are you with us or against us?" And that's when I decided to get out of the sportscasting business and go into news.
Wow.
Nobody would ever in news say things like that about whether you're with us or against us.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I'm thinking that for somebody like Jack or any of our listeners who might come upon somebody with their zipper down, it would be helpful to have Maury Povich telling them their zippers down. Could you just record? I don't know if you want to speak directly to the person with their zipper down.
Okay. So, sir, I'm looking at you, sir. Sir, would you do me a favor and just turn away from anybody who's watching you right now? Because I want to tell you something. Sir, when it comes to your open zipper, zip it.
That was riveting.
Thank you, Maury. That's terrific.
I want to tell you something. You don't think that's happened to me? And now that I'm in my 9th decade, guess what? It happens more often.
Do you have a memory of somebody telling you that your zipper was down?
No, it's not that. Yeah, my wife has told me that on occasion. That's the only person I can remember.
Well, let me ask you this. When your wife, who is legendary journalist Connie Chung, tells you that your zipper is down, what does she say?
She says, Maury, zip it up, please.
Well, Maury Povich, thank you so much for helping us out.
I appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you.
Hey, if you have a question for us, whatever it is, get it to us at howto@npr.org.
We look at all our emails, we read all our reviews, and they're so great. Everybody has nothing but positive things to say about us. Join the crowd at howto@npr.org.
It sounds like you're being sarcastic, but I actually haven't seen anything bad.
No, I wasn't being sarcastic. Did it sound like I was being sarcastic?
You did. You sounded like you were pointedly talking to somebody who had given us a bad review. Heena?
I'm here.
Did Mike sound sarcastic to you?
I think he sounded a little sarcastic.
Whether or not Mike is being sarcastic, I feel like he was. Get us your questions at howto@npr.org. And remember, we love you.
We do. That sounded sincere, right?
This message comes from our sponsor, Grainger. This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This message comes from Sun and Ski Sports. Soccer at 6, football at 7, leave work at 5, but dinner? Who knows? And don't forget the weekend tournament madness. At Sun and Ski Sports, they've got the gear to help parents survive and maybe even enjoy it. Comfy Viore activewear, Hocus, and Rumple blankets for the perfect sideline setup. Don't miss capturing those game-winning moments with a GoPro. This sports season, Sun and Ski Sports has everything you need to keep it together, sort of.
Hey, Brent, what can we help you with?
My question is, how often should I replace my toothbrush?
Okay.
Every 6 months or so, I go to the dentist, and they give me a new toothbrush. And I was told I should replace it every 3 to 4 months, but sometimes when I'm at the store, I see that there are new kinds of toothbrushes which are available, which seem to have more advanced materials, and the bristles seem to be stronger and stiffer. And so I just got curious. One day I was brushing my teeth and thinking about your show, and this just occurred to me as a question I should ask.
Sure. Brent, let me ask you this question. How are your teeth? What kind of condition are your teeth in?
Oh, thank you for asking. Well, thanks to decades of my mother and father paying for dentists and orthodontists, I'm okay. Teeth-wise. I have a mild case of gingivitis, which I'm trying to get rid of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's also there's a kind of secondary problem with this question, which is like, if we were to get the authority that says it's every 3.5 months, I'm maybe not necessarily going to put that in my calendar. I'm not going to have the date I'm not going to remember when I got the toothbrush. And I think about with replacing your smoke alarm, your smoke detector, there's that thing when you set your clocks forward or back for daylight savings, replace your batteries in your smoke detector. So that's you just have this reminder that is part of culture.
Yeah.
So I think it would be helpful for something like this to also have, like, whenever this thing happens, replace your toothbrush. I wonder if we're going to be able to track down something like that too, and possibly get rid of the mild case of gingivitis.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I wish you good luck.
All right, Brent. We have a solution. We've done a little bit of research, and we have that sort of mnemonic guide, like the smoke detectors, that will help you remember when to replace your toothbrush, but also some other household items when we can replace those. And Heena, our producer, is joining us.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Heena.
So, Brent, here we go. Here's a little music. Okay. Okay, Brent, you should replace your toothbrush every 3 months. And because, you're unlikely to remember every 3 months, you need to replace your toothbrush every time somebody named Thrawn is born in America.
Thrawn?
There are four Thrawns. That's Thron, like Ron, but with a TH in front of it.
Thron, like the word throne minus E.
Yes, or the word throne minus W.
Two things can be true.
Keep your eye on the demographic data. Every time you see someone named Thrawn born, go ahead and toss out your toothbrush and get a new one.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. What else can we use?
Mascara. It's important to replace mascara for your eye health. And you should do that every 2 to 4 months.
What?
And according to one source, that's typically how often the average person gets sick. So every time you get sick, replace your mascara.
Can I ask you, Heena, do you wear mascara?
I'm currently sick, and I've never replaced my mascara. I think I've had it.
Might be why you're sick.
I think I've had it since I was like 15 years old.
The same one?
The same one.
No, I think, yeah.
Are you sick with pink eye by any chance?
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
Huh.
Okay, so I think every time you get sick, replace your mascara. And I think we need to go get Heena some new mascara.
Some new mascara.
I think that's a good idea.
And some Dayquil.
Okay.
Surge protectors need to be replaced every 3 to 5 years because they lose their surge protection. While they still work as an outlet, they lose their surge protection capability. So what you want to do, that's the same cadence as whenever the USDA publishes new data on llama farming.
Okay.
So keep your eye on the USDA website. Whenever you see new data on llama farming or mink farming, you're going to want to replace your surge protector.
So a surge protector is the whole thing, the whole purpose of it. It's going to save you from overloading the electrical circuit, right?
Yes.
And that just kind of on its own breaks down sometime between 3 and 5 years. If you're at 5 years, every day is a gift.
Your computer is about to explode.
Yeah. Wow. I had no idea. And I'm sure I've never done that.
A lot of people don't realize you have to replace your plastic cutting boards.
Oh, God.
This makes sense to me.
Heena, how old is your cutting board?
Oh, since I was in college. I just used the same cutting board.
Scale-wise, I don't think that actually is that crazy. Let's be honest.
6 years, maybe?
That's still okay.
From the beginning of college?
All right, so you need to replace your plastic cutting board every 2 years.
Okay.
And the best mnemonic for that is there are 28 Barry Manilow fan clubs in the country.
Okay.
But every 2 years, those 28 clubs get together and have a convention, which Barry Manilow attends.
Really?
So keep your eye on that calendar. Whenever the Barry Manilow fan club convention meets, you're going to want to throw out your cutting board and get a new one.
Do they have a name? Like Jimmy Buffett fans are called parrot heads?
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Wow. I'm glad you asked because...
Yeah.
Fanilo. They're called Fanilo.
I thought you were about to say they were called barracudas.
Okay, here's a good one. A lot of people don't realize, and this is serious, you have to replace your sunscreen. Sunscreen goes bad and loses its effectiveness every 3 years.
Okay.
So what you want to do to remember that is subscribe to Model Railroader magazine.
Okay.
And every time Rod Stewart appears on the cover, you're going to want to replace your sunscreen because Rod Stewart appears on the cover of Model Railroader magazine every 3 years.
Wow.
Good for you, Rod.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's crazy to me that Rod Stewart, the guy who's saying, if you think I'm sexy, is that deep into model railroad cars.
Do you not think model railroad cars are sexy?
I don't.
All right. To each their own.
The rest of that line, if you think I'm sexy, well, that's where you're wrong, bud.
All right, Brent. Thanks to Ian's hard work, I think we've now saved you and your mouth from any future catastrophes related to your old toothbrush. Well, that does it for this week's show. What'd you learn, Ian?
Well, I learned that whatever bed a king is sleeping in, by definition, becomes a king-size bed. So even if it's a tiny cot, maybe for some reason he's sleeping in a twin bunk bed.
Yeah.
That it's like Air Force One, you know, whatever plane the president is on, even if it's not the official Air Force One, if the president of the United States is on a plane, you have to call that Air Force One.
It becomes Air Force One. Wow. Let me ask you this question. What if there was a king who was a twin, who had a brother? Does that bed that he's sleeping in become a twin bed?
If the king sleeps on the floor, does then the entire world become a king-size bed? And then are we, as the human race, all in bed together?
Well, I learned that the queen doesn't have an alarm clock, but instead she has a bagpiper outside her window. Do you think if you had the option for an alarm clock that was a musician playing outside, what would you choose? Queen has a bagpiper. What would you have?
I think it would be very interesting to wake up to have a harpist out there, somebody with a harp.
Yeah.
Because they would make the sound that we typically associate with beginning a dream to wake me up. So I would lose my grip on reality because I would never know what was a dream and what was real.
Yeah.
And I would slowly become disconnected to the rest of humanity, losing my mind.
How to Do Everything is produced by Heena Srivastava. Technical direction from Lorna White.
Our intern is Kelly Cook.
Keep smelling, Kelly.
Get us your questions at howto@npr.org. I'm Ian.
And I'm Mike. Thanks.
Billy, we have a verdict. We've gone out into the world. We've done some research, and we're ready to tell you who's right, you or your wife.
Well, she's here with me, so...
Oh, she is?
We'll see how this goes.
What's your wife's name?
Karen.
Karen, okay.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, how are y'all?
All right, so according to the royal butler, the proper way to sleep is between the pretties.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Congratulations, Karen.
Yay.
And Billy, how do you feel now?
I have a feeling there's a little bit of humble pie in my future.
Well, we wish you all many excellent nights of sleep and a peaceful marriage in the future.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
This message comes from NPR sponsor Rosetta Stone, an expert in language learning for 30 years. Right now, NPR listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership to 25 different languages for 50% off. Learn more at rosettastone.com/NPR.
This message comes from NPR sponsor Linda Mood Bell. Linda Mood Bell's online instruction is available anytime, anywhere for students to catch up or get ahead in reading, comprehension, and math. Linda Mood Bell's online instruction is designed to help children feel more confident, prepared, and excited about learning and school, and is individualized for all types of students with challenges that affect learning, including dyslexia. Enroll now to receive 20% off the first week of online instruction. Learn more at lindamoodbell.com/NPR. Support for NPR and the following message come from Boll & Branch. Experience your best sleep in the softest organic cotton sheets. For a limited time, get 20% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets at bowlandbranch.com with code NPR. Exclusions apply. See site for details.